1075 The Game Podcasting is sponsored by Modern Exterminating, a family-oriented company. Professional, honest, and dependable pest control solutions. We're your one-stop shop for all pests.
I wanted to get into this as, again, we're 10 days out, still making predictions and anticipation of what this season is going to be. And I wanted us to make some stat predictions of things we expect to happen this upcoming year. We'll kind of go back and forth here. I'll start off where I think I have a lot of confidence in Lenore Seller's ability to develop in all parts as a quarterback, but I really think and hope that the turnovers will be fixed this upcoming year because he threw 7 interceptions, put the ball on the ground 11 times, lost 6 of them, which was among the worst in the country. I'm expecting him to have no more than 8 turnovers in total this upcoming year. So maybe 5 interceptions and 3 fumbles. I could live with that. It's not going to be a 0. Like, that's just not how football works. He's going to turn over a couple times, but if you can cut that number in almost half and have no more than 8, I'll feel okay about that.
I'm with you on that. I think it's a really good take right there and a good stat prediction for the year. I'm going to kind of stay along the same lines there in terms of what it could look like for this year in terms of Sellers and the offense. I think the sack numbers go down a bit. I think we're going to look at a team that is probably down to about 25 to 30 sacks this year. Now, it's not saying much necessarily since I feel like Sellers last year was sacked 33 times.
Yeah.
Now, that number easily could have been a lot more. The offensive line blocking was hit or miss. I feel like last year there were some times where it was really good, but how much of that had to do with Sellers avoiding pressure? Now the offensive line did allow 41 sacks last year, so maybe getting it down to that number doesn't seem like much, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it would make a big difference.
Some interesting news coming away from college baseball. Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball first reporting this yesterday that there's going to be some tweaks being done to the postseason format in terms of the 64-team field. He says the NCAA Division I Baseball Selection Committee in 2026 will begin seeding teams 1 through 32 instead of 1 to 16. Teams outside of the top 16 will be placed into groups and will then be distributed with geographical considerations. It goes on to say when seeding 1 to 32 does create more accountability for the selection committee and provide fans a clear picture. It's not a straight 1 to 32 seeding, since theoretically a 17 seed could go to a 13 seed because of geographical considerations. This is the same kind of model that volleyball and soccer already use.
I don't mind this. I think this is probably, it makes sense to have it be more geographically sound.
Sure.
I remember Florida State won their regional and then had to go all the way out to Oregon State.
Yeah.
Like that, like you see that, and again, that's just by the nature sometimes of the seeding that you have, where it just so happens that you're paired up. Like South Carolina 2 years ago when they went to a Super, they didn't have to go very far. They had to go to Florida. So
Sure.
It can happen sometimes, though, where you have an East Coast team having to travel all the way out to the West Coast. It happens quite a lot, honestly.
Now, I don't know if that's going to change how they do 1 to 16, because again, you still have the top 16 host sites, and I imagine you're still, based on the way the bracket works, paired up with your corresponding number on the other side. Now, they may change the way they do it to try and make sure that, okay, we're going to try and pair teams up bracket-wise that would be closer together. So again, you're not having a Florida State going all the way to the West Coast. I don't think we got the clarification on that part yet.
No, but in terms of, from the sound of it,
yes,
keeping the teams that, it is a little bit confusing, but keeping everyone kind of geographically in the same area,
yeah,
it makes sense.
So you're not going to have like a Long Beach State probably come to South Carolina for like a regional. You know what I mean?
No, there's no need for that.
There's no need for that. And again, we hope Carolina is back in the postseason in some capacity next year, but let's say they aren't a top 16 host seed. You're not going to want to see them get sent all the way out to, Oklahoma State or something like that. You'll go to Florida or you'll go to NC State or something like that.